in flux. Do you have any guidance of when the appeals court might rule, or do you anticipate issuing a directive on those 3 final days of early voting?
Sure. Where it stands is it's a matter of litigation, so I don't have a lot to offer other than the fact that we are talking with local boards of elections. We are talking with the legal team to make sure that we appropriately comply with the court order, and so a directive will be forthcoming at some point in time, communicating that to the local boards of elections. Also knowing that this is a matter of pending litigation, pending appeal, and that could also change things between now and that time.
You said forthcoming. You're not sure when you would be issuing a directive on that. Would it be before the appeals court decides?
Yeah, I've really said all I can on the topic. You will be the second one to know after we let the boards of elections know.
And some boards have already went ahead and just said we're going to be open on these days. Early voting is available. I think there were at least two county boards that have done that.
There's several.
Do you anticipate other boards doing the same thing, or have you heard from local boards?
Well, I anticipated this. That's why I issued the earlier directive. But the judge did not agree with the goal of that, and so we later rescinded it at his request.
So are those hours, going to be moot when you issue a directive eventually on those last 3 days? Have you given any kind of guidance other than the directive that...
The boards are aware that we are going to issue guidance on this, and some of them have taken their own action prior to the issuing of that directive.
But if a board sets its own hours, are those hours going to be a moot point if you come back with a directive later?
I've really said all I can on the topic at the moment.
Well, just to push my luck a little bit more, your original directive is still in place. So
there is no original directive on that because the judge asked it to be repealed.
And you have repealed that?
I
thought that went back to the original rules. So do you still have the original hours that you put out there?
Oh, the original hours for everything else?
Right.
Yes, those remain intact and are not going to change.
Are the counties that have gone ahead and set that voting for those 3 days, are they considered to be in violation of that directive?
I'm really not going to comment any more about this, other than to say this, that it's a matter for the courts right now, is being appealed, and we will comply with whatever guidance the court provides us, whether it be initial ruling or a future ruling it stands, and we will make sure that we comply with that, and that the boards can expect a directive outlining what their responsibilities will be for those final 3 days sometime in the future.
Have you looked at any of the people, going back to cooking bowls, I guess, have you looked